What's up, brick builders? Today's build is the Mini Gritter Model B from set number 42060, which came out in 2016. Hello folks, Shaun from BRIT'N Bricks. How you doing? What the blazes is my hair doing? Okay. Yeah, welcome to another video. This is Model B from the Roadwork Crew 2-in-1 set. Another Technic build, and let's check it out. Yeah, here's our parts. Quite a lot of pieces, and we'll get the instructions up for you. There we go, and that's what our gritter's going to look like. So it has a shovel on the front, and you can see the gritting machine type thing on the back end with that hopper there and stuff like that. So stage one is an 11 long grey piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Dropping 2 blue pins in, and we're going in short ways. And the first 2 back holes there, like that. And then on the opposite side, we got a black pin, then we got a space, and then we got a black pin. Next, we got a tan pin with the axle piece. This is a frictionless pin, so it should rotate. And then on the opposite side, we got 2 more blue pins just next to that tan pin there. Again, short ways in. Then we're going to put the 1 hole 2 pin connector shortly after that. There we go. So 2 pin, 1 hole, and the hole is going to be facing up. We're going to put a T-bar on these 2 blue pins here, so we need a T-bar, quite obviously named, and that is going to overhang. So we're going to put those 2 there. That's going to overhang by 1 hole. Next, we're going to close that off with another 11 beam. Got to line these 5 pins up. There we go. And then we're going to put a blue pin through the top of this bar here, long ways in, so you've got half and half. And we're going to put another tan pin here with an axle, like that. And then we're just going to put 4 pins along the edge here. So where this grey pin is, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, space, and drop another pin next to these blue. So 1, 2, 3, and space right next to the blue. And we're going to take the black L shape, and we want a grey small L shape. There we go. 2 different L shapes. And we're going to put the blue pin with axle in the elbow of the L shape, like that. And then we're going to pop this in that hole there so that it's level with the top of this L shape. And then we're going to put, actually that's going to go behind, because that pin's going to hold it in place. And then we're going to put 2 black pins in the bottom there. So there's 1 and 2. And then this is just going to get mounted on here. That's why we didn't put the 2 black pins in here, you see. That should go like that. Cool. Now we got some gears. So we got the orange half crank plate. We're going to have a 3-axle and a 4-axle. So we want a 3-axle. 3 axle is going to go into the part where you got this raised section here, and then we've got a 4-axle. Find one. Need a 4-axle. There we go. In that side there, and then we're going to put tang gear on top of this 4-axle like that, but we're putting a 1-hole axle beam on the 3-axle, and we're going to use the hole, not the axle. Okay, so it's going to flop around a bit. Then we're going to put the pin with 3/4 axle quarter pin, and that's going to go into the axle hole. So you got the axle and the pin level. And we're going to close that off with another one of those plates. Like a crank plate. And then we're going to put, and try not to drop the connector there. Put that axle in there. Close that off. And now I don't have to worry about the connector now. So just loosen that a little bit, because you don't want this being pinched. Oh, okay, so it's not even going to rotate. Okay, so this is actually going to be moving itself. Fair enough. And then that's going to connect to, I think that's going to go, I think that's going to go there. It's going to rest in there, I think. It's interesting. Let's go put brown pin with stop out. That's going to go into this hole here from the underneath. Put your finger over the stopper so that it doesn't fall out. And then we're going to put the half screw or small screw element on top. Push that down. This is getting in the way. Push that down like that. And then we've got a knuckle. So we want a knuckle. Where's the knuckle? There's 3 of them in here. Here we go. Right. And then we got the 5 long axle yellow. And that's going to go through the top axle hole here. Like that. And then that's going to go over the screw. And then we're going to push, looks like the axle is going to go through this axle hole here. This, all right, I see. So we're going to push this axle through, so it goes through this plate here. If we can. Yep, there we go. I'll push it in halfway. And this is, yeah, this is like a lifting arm by the looks of things. Cool. And then we're going to push this into place as well. We got beam and a plate to push through. There we go. Push that back so that it's level, and then we're going to put a red red bushing on top of that brown pin to stop that from falling through. We got movement there. I would have thought, no, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I thought this gear is going to touch this screw. Because now that don't lift. But it's not supposed to. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting build. L plate, and that's going to go over the top of that yellow axle and the black axle holding this gear on, and then we're going to put blue pin with axle into the elbow like that, and then I think we're going to put with we're going to put an L shape there. We got a 5 beam, so the 5 beam is going to go across here. That has got to go back. That has got to go back. There's no way that's correct. Let's put that over there for now. Because I'm sure that's going to have to touch like that. Yeah. So this has to go over there, and then that axle is going to go into the middle hole of the L shape. That will enable it to lift. If we turn this, there we go. That's more like it. Apologies on that. L shape, L shape, L shape, L shape plate that we put down. Oh dear. I literally just put it down to take things apart. And now I would say that it doesn't exist. Can't see it. I know it's there. Yeah, it must have landed. There you go. So say it must have landed where I didn't think it landed. That in there. Now, why is that? There we go. Perfect. That works. And next we've got the 5 beam. It's not 5. That's not 5. That's 5. Across these two here. Like that. And that's operating a tipping system. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Very clever idea. Then we're going to put another 5 bar on the other side, like that, and then we got the L shape going on here. L shape, L shape, L shape. There it is. On there, like that. And some more L shapes. A grey plate with blue pin and axle, like that. And then that's going to go into this hole here, like that. Red axle, 6 long red axle, 1 hole axle beam. Red axle goes through the axle hole, go middle, and you got a blue pin as well, long, and it's going to go in long ways. So you got pin and axle center, and then we're going to take a 7 whole beam. We're going to go 2 holes, 1, 2, and then we're going to drop the pin in the 3rd, and the axle is going to go into the 4th. And we're going to put a dark bluish grey pin 4 long in the back there. Keep it finger or thumb behind it, and we're going to put a grey gear on top of that axle there. And then we're going to close that off with another 7 long beam. And we're going to put another gear in the other side here. I'm going to hold that in place because we're going to put an 4 long axle through the beam to keep that gear in place. And you might have to slowly rotate the axle. Don't rotate the axle and the gear, just rotate one. I found that the axle was the easiest one because it needs to line up with the axle hole in the gear. Next we've got 2 tanned small pins. Those are both going to go in behind or in front of this red axle here, and it's going to be with this orange bar is going to be close to the right hand side, and these tan pins are going to go into the left hand side. So they're going to go in long ways. They're frictionless, so they move. We've got 1 on each side like that. Oh, we got some caterpillar tracks. 23 of these, folks. Sorry about that. 2, 3. I'll turn it around. 4. No. Ready? It's doing better the other way around. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So it should be a 23 piece chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3. Then it's going to go around this track here and clip it together. Now there'll be space for you to actually take a link out, but we're not going to do that because we're supposed to have 23 in there. So, and it's kind of loose, it's a little bit slack, and then that's going to go into this axle hole here in the L shape, and that pin is going to go into the middle hole. And we go close that off with another L shape on the other side and a pin as well. So we're going to go blue axle behind, a blue pin with axle behind, and that's going to pin to the 5 bar here, like that. Well, there we go. So we want it on the red axle and then push it in, and that pin as well. So you got the red axle, the pin, tan pin, the blue pin, and this looks like it's going to lift or tilt. And we got a 7 long axle. I think that's a 7. Periscope. Periscope, 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 periscope. And we've got the hole facing up because we're going to put a crank handle plate on top with the crank on the top as well. So you've got the hole and the crank. And then that's going to go through. It's going to go through this hole here and this hole here. So the axle's going to go through the bottom hole, and then the crank's going to pin to the top hole. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we want the crank, turn the pin, so the pin's going to go inside this beam like that, and then put a periscope on the end with periscope hole up. Next we got the axle connector and the pin with the ball joint on it. So we want an axle connector. Axle connector, there we go. Pop that on there, and then that's going to fit to this dark bluish grey axle there, and that. So it kind of rotates only one way. I wonder if it's because it's catching on something. Because it's, yeah, it's because it's slack. So we may have to take a link out of the chain. We may. I don't know yet. 7 long axle, no, 7 long beam and a 9 long beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we want a shorter one, like that. Take the shorter one first. We're going to put a blue pin straight through long ways, so it's half and half. Then we're going to go hole up, and then we're going to drop a black pin, and then on the other side hole up, and then we're going to drop a black pin. Actually, two holes up, sorry, on that one. Drop the black pin, hole up, drop the black pin, like that. And then we're going to put the 9 long on top. It's going to go in the middle. And then we've got the handlebar piece. Not a handlebar piece, bicycle fork piece. Because it reminds me of a bicycle fork. And this was the axle for the last time. So we're going to pop that in there. And then we've got a blue pin in that hole there. And we got 2 black pins in front or behind, sorry, behind the blue pin here. We're going to go behind. So there's 2, one next to each other. Should have 2 hole. Then we got the pin. Then we should have another black pin after that, just like that. Then we're going to put a panel piece. Panel piece is going to pin to these 2 pins there, and then we've got a 2-hole axle connector that is going to pin to these 2 pins here, with the axle closest to the panel, and then that is going to attach to, I think it's going to go on this. Yeah, so it's going to go on that red axle there, like that. Interesting. And again, the same thing. 7 and a 9. And put blue pin long ways in, so it's half and half. And we're going to go 2 holes up and drop a pin, and then 1 hole up on the other side and drop a pin. Then we're going to put these 2 together like that, and then the bike forks next to that black pin there, and then blue pin long ways in, so you do half and half. We're going to have a black pin next to it like that, and then we're going to have, from this blue pin here, we're going to have 2 black pins next to that, just behind it like that. And then again another panel, a small panel, pin to there. This time it's the it's upside down, because when you turn it over it'll be the right way up. 2 hole axle connector, and then we're just going to put that onto the red axle here like that. And I think that's our hopper for the gritter. Um, 3 hole 2 axle plate, and we're going to drop 2 pins in on either side, leaving that middle hole open. So 2 black pins either side, leaving that hole open. And then we're going to take the 7 hole plate, and we're going to go all the way to one side, push those pins through, so there's one side that's actually level and the other one is not. And then we're going to drive the 3/4 axle pin into the axle hole there closest to the black pin, and then another 3/4 axle, but it's going to have small bushing on top first. Now then, I want the there it is, and then I want the small bushing. We're going to pop that on there like that, and then we're going to drop that into the plate here like that. That's going to be loose, and we're going to put 2 large L shapes across the way, so like that. That will keep that in place now. And then we've got another L shape going the same the other way. There it is. Like that. So the L shapes are meeting in the middle, and that's going to go on top of the hopper. Now these pins here are going to go into these holes here. We've got 3 different pins, so it's 6 pins altogether to match up. There we go. Push them home. Nice. And we're going to have 2 knuckles. The 2 knuckles are going to go on these 2 pins here, these 2 blue pins. And the knuckles are going to be... Well, first of all, I need to take that out. They're going to be with this arch piece here to the back. So drop that down like that, so it looks like that. I think this is more for detail than any actual purpose. I'm wondering how many pieces this is going to use. It looks quite cool. How many pieces it's going to use. On the Model B. Now we've got two L shapes that are going on, so they're going to go here and here. Two L shapes. There's one. And then the other one's going to go the other side. Like that, so. And then we've got some wheels. Okay. So the wheels are coming. These are probably the spreader wheels, actually. Right, so it's those small wheels, the pin wheels. So I'll put those together. Oh, no. Don't drop it. Right, and then we've got the grey pins, grey frictionless pins. So these things are going to move. So there's another grey pin. And then they're going to attach to these two holes here. Like that. We got black axle connector with a hole in the middle. There we go. Black axle holder with axle connector with a hole in the middle, and then we got a red axle going in the top, and then we got the small, is that a moon gear, or is that the small, I think that's a small dark bluish grey gear. There's only one in this set. That's the grey. It's dark bluish grey, isn't it? Dark bluish grey. There it is. That's going to go on top like that, and that's going to control the tip. It's going to go on the brown axle, and then just turn it, and it controls the tipper. Very cool. Now we got the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 black 9 beam. Long pin, going to go short ways in so that the pin sticks out. Then we got two H shapes, so we got one straight behind that blue pin. Then we're going to have a hole, and then we're going to drop another pin, blue pin, short ways again, and then go another H shape. Like that. And then we're going to put 5 long beam on the front, and then we're going to put a short pin with stud in the first hole above that blue pin, and then we're going to put a 1-hole axle bar on top of this blue pin here using the pinhole, and the bar is facing up, not down, but up. And then we're going to close that off with another 9 long beam. Wiggle those together, there we go. And then we got a black pin that's going to go into the second hole from the top on this 5-hole beam. Black pin's going to go in from the other side. And then next we got a 3-axle. We want a small bushing and a 3-axle. So there's a 3-axle, there's a small bushing. Push the bushing on about 1/4, and that's going to go through the axle hole here of this connector. And then we're going to put another bushing on the other side. Gets a little bit fiddly because there's not much room there. And we got a 5-hole beam again with a black pin on one end, like that. And then on the same side, we've got a hole, then a black pin. Like that. And then on the opposite side, just before the first pin that we put in, we got a smooth periscope. The smooth periscope is going to have the hole facing up, and we're going to do 2 of those. So these must be the axles or something. They have to be something to do with the axles. 2 of those, right? So blue beam, 5 beam, black pin, and then from the other side is a space and a black pin, and then on the other side is the periscope, smooth periscope, like that. Now then, this is going to go in these 2 holes here, like that, and this one is going to do the same thing on the other side. And we're going to put a blue long pin into this hole here next to this beam, and it's going to go in short end first so it sticks up, and then we've got 2 black pins, 1 in each of these smooth periscopes that we just put in. So 1, 2, then we're going to put a 7 long beam going across here to keep those pins upright. That's 1, 2, and that might have a little bit of a rocking motion, but not too much. And then we're going to put a black pin in the other hole here next to where this blue pin went. A black pin, that's going to go into that hole there. We've got a T-bar. Ah, yes, the T-bar is going to go over the top. Right. Okay, so T-bar is going to go over the top, and you're going to have the wider part of the T on the left-hand side. Drop that in like that. Then we're going to drop another pin into the T-bar. So you've got the blue pin and the black pin level. Next we're going to put the 40th anniversary printed beam. That's going to go on these 2 pins, like that. And we got a black pin on the other side of that at the end. We got a 4-axle going through this beam here, and it's going to be below this pin. So we want 4-axle. That's going to go in there. Keep my finger behind it. We're going to put a crank plate on top of that, and it's going to be with a pin facing inwards, not outwards. Not quite sure what this is going to be yet. And then we're going to attach that to the hopper thing here, and that is going to, how is that going to work? It's going to overlap like that. Okay. Nothing holding it in place. Right. Dark grey axle with stopper. It's going to go in underneath. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a bit awkward, isn't it? Nothing holding that. There's absolutely nothing holding that. Am I missing something? Nothing holding that, and then we're going to put a bushing on top, right? Okay. So this is going to add like a steering mechanism. Is that a large bushing? They don't show. There's a bushing. Oh, there is. How did that get in there? man. This is like... Oh, no. That's what it is? Oh, shoot. I completely missed something. And this might cause a problem. Right, long axle. I'm going to push these pins through. Let's see if it's going to give me enough space. Ah, it's not, is it? Oh, Shaun. What did you do? Let's see if I can open it a little bit, because I should have put a 2-hole axle connector in there. There we go. Oh no! No! Oh no, pieces on the floor. Yeah, there's never a video yet that I've done that I don't drop my Lego. Never. Right, so that looks about right. Those. Does it still work? Yeah, that works. We got pins. Done it the wrong way. Oh dear, oh dear. Try and get it half again. So I put these blue pins in the wrong way. I should have gone in short ways. Now we're going in short ways. If we're going to get that connector on there though. Yes. Now then, let's try and close it up. Says try. Yep. Yep. There we go. And it still works. Right. So this piece it's a grey pin, isn't it? Is it grey pin? Yeah, it's grey pin. Yep. So we want the grey. There it is. Grey pin's going to go in from the bottom into that hole, and it's going to go into that axle hole there. And that's what I was missing. And it kind of does kind of articulate. And we're going to put a tan gear on top of that. Large tan gear on top of that. So it's going to control the back. And then we're going to put the brown axle with stopper. It's going to go through this hole here, through the bottom, hold it in place because we're going to put a black moon gear on there, and that's going to meet up with this tan gear. This will be our hand of God steering right there. And we got black plates, 3-hole 2-axle plate, and a 7-axle. It's going to go through one of those axle holes. 2-hole axle connector, and that's going to be poking out. And then we got the axle connector with 1 hole, and the hole is going to face upwards like that. And then we've got black pin going into the 2-hole axle connector, and a black pin back there. And then we've got got to put that, so it's going across these 2 axles here. Well, actually it's not going across the 2 axles, it's going onto this 1 axle with the tan gear, and it's going to go in that hole there. And then this pin here is going to go into this hole here. So it goes like that, and that goes like that, and that should still, yep. Loads of axles, loads of gears. So we got tan pin with collar, and we're going to put it in short ways. So this is going to be first axle. So we're going to do another one on the end there, and then we got 2. We got 1 on there and 1 on there. So, and that hole there, another one in that hole there. And then we got the 1-hole axle connector black with the 5-axle yellow going through the axle hole there, and then that's going to go on the brown axle like that. And guessing we're pushing this through. I'm going to put that through just a little bit just so it holds in place. Yeah, we got to push that through, right? Okay. And we got another plate to go on here, closing that off. So it's another 3-hole 2-axle plate there is. Line those 2 up and then push the axle through so it's more or less even. Hello. And we got coat hangers. The coat hangers are going to go onto the yellow axle here. Coat hangers is going to go into the middle bottom hole of a coat hanger. If you're looking at it, it's like a coat hanger. It's going to be that hole there. And it's going to be facing downwards. So it's also connecting to this axle here, you see. So that one of those shoulders is going to connect to the axle there. And then the other axle is going to go into the top of the coat hanger. So we've got 3 points. So the shoulder, the middle, the top. Like that. Cool. I'm kind of liking this build. It's got a lot going on with it. Axle connector. We want 2 of those. And we also want a 3-axle. So we want 3-axle, and we want an axle connector, and then we've got another axle connector. And this is going to be extension for the hand of God steering. Oh, we want a 4-axle as well. Where's that going? Where's the 4-axle? Oh, it's going across the coat hangers, right? Okay. So this is going to go onto the brown axle like that. So that extends the height of the handguard steering, and then we're putting 4 axle through the other shoulder of the coat hanger. If you can. Oh no, I just knocked the coat hanger completely off. How did I even do that? Is that even such a thing? Right, I'll hold it in place. There we go. It's just held on by a small piece of axle at the bottom. Now it's got the other piece going through the middle. So we got the 7 beam, orange and grey. Orange one, we got a black pin at the bottom, and then we have the grey one attaching to that, and then we have the H shape attaching to the other side, and then a black pin on the grey beam like that. Oh, where's periscope? We got a periscope as well. Where's periscope? I'm not seeing that. Ah, right, I see it. I see it. It's on this one. Right. So this beam here is going to go on this axle here, this axle here. So it's going to go into that hole there and that hole there. And then we're going to put the periscope on top so that it keeps that in place. We're going to have the hole facing up, and now that won't fall off. Extending the handguard steering again with what seems to be, we've got another H shape that's going across here. So we want H shape. It's going to go into the top of that orange piece. That hole is going to hover over the handguard steering piece there, and we're going to drop another 3 axle down through that. 3 axle in there, turn it around slightly so that we can get, and surely there's going to be a moon gear going on top of that now. Sure, yeah, there you go, moon gear. Want a moon gear, moon gear, moon gear, moon gear. There it is. It's going to go on top, and that now is your steering. And then we're going to close this side off with the orange beam like that, and then I think we're going to put a pin. Yep, there's a pin in there at the bottom of that orange beam so that the grey beam can attach to that pin. We're not putting that in there yet. We're doing a black 5 piece going across. Black 5 hole. There we go. It's going to go across on this pin here, right here. It's going to go in the middle pin like that. It's going to have a sticker on it as well, but we're not putting stickers on this. Also, you've got to put your other axle pieces in there. Yep, then we go close it off with the grey beam. So we want the grey beam, and that's going to go, let me see, that's going to go this pin here, axle, axle. So it's really the pin that's holding everything in place. The axle's just keeping it nice and steady. Then we go put a blue pin on a 3-hole beam short ways, and then that's going to go in behind the beam we just put in. I think that's going to connect to that there. Yeah, it is. Right there, like that. So that's just like structure-y. Okay, we've got panel. So is this the right panel? It is not the right panel. That's the right panel. and stickers would go on. We've got 2-hole axle connector. We've got the grey pin with 1/4 axle instead of 3/4 axle. It's going to go into the axle holder, and then that's going to go into the bottom of the panel. And then why isn't that not going all the way through? Black pins. Black pins are holding it in place, not the grey pin. Black pins on top. Okay. Get right, panel. Yeah, black pins are going to hold that in place like that. Then we go put a smooth periscope in the middle hole here. And the hole's facing up. We're going to drive a large pin or long pin in there long ways first. So we got 1/2 and 1/2. And then we're going to attach that to this pin here, the blue pin. I think, or is this going to be there? No, because this blue pin here is going to go into that hole there. So I'll line that up with that. It's going to go into here in the coat hanger by looks things. Like that. There you go. And then we got a blue pin going in here in this top hole here, long ways. So it's going to be 1/2 and 1/2. Okay. And then we got a black pin. No, blue pin's going to go into the grey H shape. Sorry. Because the black pin is going into that hole, which makes much more sense. There we go. Like that. And then we're going to do the other panel. Okay, we know how to do the panel now. Honestly, when I drop the Lego, I kind of try and catch it, and I make it even worse by just knocking everything everywhere. 2 pins. We want the 1/4 axle. In the axle hole. And then this. In there. And then the periscope. In the middle hole. Hole facing up, and we want the long blue pin. Drop it in long ways. There's the beacon, and then we're going to put that in there, and then drop it down, and there we go. So you're starting to form the cab. Yep, drop it down. Yep, and then we got another black pin going in here, right? So we want black pin going in there. Oh, and we got another beam going across these 2 blue pins here. So that's a 5 long beam, orange beam gonna go into those pins there, just to make a little bit more of the back of the cab. And then we got. Looks like the Plow coming up. 1-hole 2 axle plate. We're going to red axle from behind it, and then that's going to drop onto a 3-hole 2 axle plate. Right there. It's going to go into the axle hole like that. Then we're going to put a black pin through both of those. We'll wiggle. And then tan pin with axle is going in from behind. And then we're going to put on top of that a small bushing. Where's the small bushing? Yeah, I knock them all over the place. There it is. Like that. And then that is going to attach to this blue beam here with this pin, the tan pin. Like that. So these are two control arms by looks things for the plow. There's going to be something that's going to attach to this. Other side. Okay, so the other side we got this these two pins here, the black pins here. They're going to be lined up with a 3-hole beam. So we're going to put the first one on and then the second one. Or not. Oh dear. There we go. And now it's actually got strength to hold itself up now, which is kind of cool. And it's operated by the axle here, which will probably have an axle connector on top of it or a gear. So we have the 3-hole beam. We got 2 blue pins long that are going in short ways, and then we got a blue pin with axle on the other side like that, and then we would join an L shape and a 7 long beam on the other pin there like that. We've got a black pin going next to this, next to the L-shaped blue pin. That. And then we've got a blue pin with axle on the back end of the long 7 beam. We've got a 1-hole axle beam. It's going to go onto that axle there. Have the beam facing up. Flip it over, so you kind of got this bridge, and then we're going to put a 3-hole orange beam across these 3 pins like that, and that's not going to stop anything, but this is going to be like, oh I see, this is going to be to get the shape of the cab, huh? Okay, that's cool. Stop dropping your Lego, man. Alright, so it's like, alright, okay, so these 2 pins here are going to line up with these 2 holes here like that, and then this is going to line up and connect to that blue pin there, and there you go, your frame of your cab. Very cool. And we're going to do the other side? No, we're going to do, oh, we're going to do what it looks like an exhaust. That's nice little bit of detail. It might not be, but I'm speculating it is. We're going to use the telescope, and then we're going to use the quarter pin, or no, the quarter axle pin, and that's going to go into the base of the telescope. So now you've got like one of those telescopes that you see on the seaside. Go turn it upside down. I'm going to drop a smooth periscope on top. So now you've got kind of this gun type thing. And then we're going to put a black sleeve over the top of that. So we want the black sleeve, black smooth sleeve. And we want another quarter axle pin. There we go. To go into the fire hydrant like that. Now you definitely got some sort of gun, but I think it's going to be an exhaust. So we're going to go into these 2 pins here. That looks like an exhaust to me. And we're going to do the other side of the cab. So again, the 5 and the L shape. Is it 5? No, it's 7 in the L shape. This time we're doing it the other way around. We want the 3 pin. We want 2 black. Is it? No, 2 blue pins, isn't it? 2 blue pins. Short ways in, and then the other side is the blue pin with the axle. And then we join them together. So we've got the 9 long, no 7 long, and then the L plate, L beam, and then it's the black pin next to the L shapes blue pin, and then we've got blue pin with axle on the 7 long with the 1 hole axle beam like that, and flip it over, and we're going to put the 5 long along the pins there, and then just pop that into place. Like so. Very cool, very cool. Nothing joining in the middle here. It's interesting. What else we got here? We got... Aha. Right, this must be the plow. The axle here, we've got the... Oh, this is going to be the control lever for the plow. Grey sleeve going over the axle, so that's loose, and then we're going to put periscope on top, and I want it so that I can get it evened up somewhat. There we go. And we're going to have a blue pin with axle. It's going to go into a red bushing like that, and then the pin piece is going to go into the periscope, and that is going to be your lever. Okay. And then we got a smooth periscope. Oh, we got some smooth periscopes going along here. So we've got 2 of those. So there's one there, and then one next to it. Pretty tricky pieces to get in. There we go. So it's forming this beam. And then we're going to put... Ah, that's where the beacon's going to go. Right, okay. I was wondering about that. What is this? The 3/4 axle pin. That's the 1/4 axle pin. Fire hydrant. And then the beacon is going to go into the side of the fire hydrant like that. And then that is going to go straight through these beams there, and there you go. Cool, very cool. We've not got an awful lot of pieces left. I'm very impressed with how much stuff this is used so far. And we're going to do the lights, which also look like maybe mirrors. 2-hole axle connector. We're going to put 2 short blue pins with studs on the end in these holes. We're going to do 2 of these, so we might as well do them both together at the same time, like that. Then 1x2 trans clear plates on top of those blue studs like that, and then they're going to hang off these axles here. They're definitely lights, aren't they? Maybe double up as mirrors. Here we go. This is the plow. So we're going to use this big panel here, and we're going to have 4 pins. We're going to turn the panel over. We've got this channel, and we're going to have 4 pins. Going to have 2 and 2 there. So need 4 black pins. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, like that. And then on each side, on each end, in the middle holes, we're going to have smooth periscope. So we got this smooth periscope piece, like that, and that. And then we're going to have 13 long beam going across the top and bottom on here. So we've got the 13 long here. One. And we're going to line it up. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to put, maybe I shouldn't have done that, because we've got to build those beam pieces first. I just noticed that. And so we've got a pin in both ends, and we've got smooth periscope on both ends as well. Okay, now we can attach it like that, and the same again for this side. Smooth periscope, and then that's going to attach to that there. Now we've got the 2 pins on each side. We're going to put 2 5 long grey beams. These kind of move independently like that, so these get a little bit tricky to line up, because one will go one way and the other one will go the other way. So bit of patience with it, and it will eventually go in, and then it stays together. But it's not until you get them both together. And sometimes if you put one in first, it tips the other one. Right, there we go. And then we got 2 black pins going, one in one side there and then in the middle. So one end, one in the middle, and then we got 3 beam going over the top of that. So we want another one at the end, and last black pin in the middle. Look how much stuff we've got left. It's incredible that it's used so much stuff. Obviously we're not going to use these caterpillar tracks anymore, but yeah, I'm really impressed with how much of the primary parts this secondary model has used. So we got a tan pin with axle going in after that pin there, and that's going to have the orange 1-hole bar axle. Not quite sure what that's for. It's probably his wind flag or something. I don't know. Then we're going to drop another pin. So we've got a space and then a pin. Now then, I thought I used my last pin, so my last black pin. Oh, there it is. Okay, right there. That's that. And then, okay, so we're going to add a crank handle to that connector, and 2-hole axle connector, and it's going to be on the end there. Okay, this is intriguing. Is this going to be able to steer it? Is that what this is going to be? Okay, so we got a gear and a grey axle with stopper. So we want a gear and the grey axle with stopper. The grey axle with stopper. Going to go on top of the gear like that, and then it's going to go through. It's going to go through the middle hole, I think, and through this crank arm as well. So we're going to have to, there we go, got it. So what does this do? But don't, oh, I see, okay, okay. It does do something, but it's not functioning like that. So I'm not sure if I got that wrong. I don't think so. And then we got the arm, hinged arm socket. It's going to go on there, underneath there with the axle. Okay, so these flex out. Yeah. Is it just for aesthetics, maybe? And then it's just going to attach to this red axle here. Okay. And then we got the movement there. Yeah. Okay. Right, I guess it's wheels time. Yep. Oh yeah. Using the double-sided wheels, street racer or racing wheels, car wheels with industrial wheels. So we're using industrial. You could have car wheels or racing wheels on it. Go faster, because the racing one's got the spokes, and this one has the wheel nuts. And then we're just going to pop those onto these 10 pins here. Quite deep, these wheels, that's why we're using these long 10 pins. That's not on clearance, there we go. And then that, like that. I think that's it. Oh, we need our tools, huh? Look. Right, so we want the brush. Where's the brush go then? Oh, I see. Really? It's gonna go in there? How's that going in there? Oh. Oh, we missed a periscope. There we go. Brushing that one. Shoveling the other. There we go. Got tools. Nice. And I think that's it, folks. So. I am impressed. We could have done with maybe using the rear lights. We could probably do something across with this beam here, or yeah, this hole here. We could have put an axle with the periscopes on there, like we have done in the past, and then just push those on there. So you could get some lights with that. That's for sure. Other than that, it's actually kind of cool. So we got the steering, that's quite good steering for something like this. Yeah, that's actually really cool. Then you've got the steering of the shovel, which is really cool. And you've got this where you can, you know, bend them in a little bit more. But also, you got the tipper. Right? But don't forget, you've got your spreader as well. Look. So what can we put in there that we can just spread or have as stuff to spread? This is going to jam it up, isn't it? It's going to jam it up. We're going to jam it up. Oh, it's spreading. And it's falling through. Those red studs didn't go. But that's quite clever. That is quite clever. I think this is a great addition to. If you were going to get this set, if I was going to have a little bit of a setup with the roadwork stuff, I would go with getting 2 of these sets. 2 of these sets would be absolutely fantastic because both the truck, the trailer with the little mini digger was a really cool model. But this is a lovely addition to the Roadworks set or team, because that is so cool. It really is so cool. It's got like the tipper, you got your steering at the rear, you got your you got the elevation of the thing as well, haven't you? Forgot about the shovel lifting. And then and it looks pretty cool. We got the beacon, we got the lights here, we got the shovel and the brush hanging off the edges in those periscopes there. So what's not to like about this? I like it a lot. That is pretty cool thinking. Even if it's not using anything, it's operating. That is pretty cool thinking. And you know what? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like this video, give it a thumbs down. Let me know in the comments why, if you liked it or you didn't like it, or let me know in the comments and anything about this, or just to say hi. Also hit the subscription. That will just let you know that there's another video coming out, which will be tomorrow. And also, it's free. Thank you so much, folks. I'm Shaun from BRIT'N. Peace.